Hi everyone, welcome back to Bear Mountain Greenhouse. I'm Denise and I'm here to talk about seeding. So I have to play catch up a little bit with all of my seeds. I have to kind of get back to getting all the ones I was supposed to do last week when I was not feeling so good, and then move on to what we're gonna seed for this week. Just to let you know, I don't seed every week, flowers every week. I'm just doing things that take quite a bit of time, and as our season moves through, and our garden or our beds get ready, then I'll have the seedlings ready to go. But it's not an every week thing. So, when I say I'm starting on week 6, you know, some weeks it'll be just all veggies and other weeks it will be just flowers or some combination thereof. So let's dig in. The first thing that I'm seeding for this week, week 6, the end of the month, I don't know. There's so much confusion in terms of what week is it. I don't know. And we're just gonna call it week 6. And the first thing on that list is Dianthus. Now this is not the winter Dianthus that we usually start in August, September, or July or August to go in late September, 1st October. It's already in. It's withstanding several days of frost. That's what it's supposed to do. It needs vernalization, or it means a really cool period, and it's been very cool here at night for quite a while. So it should be doing really well, and those are usually electron, super duplex, electron, and messenger. And messenger, I believe this time is our new one this year. It's very similar to electron, but it blooms either, I think it's 2 weeks early, so I might get blooms earlier, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So anyway, those are already taken care of, and that's a group of Dianthus that's typically called Sweet William. Now there's Dianthus that is carnations, and we've tried those in the past, and they never got really tall enough for us. The designers and our florists didn't really care for them. They were a lot smaller. They weren't in any really super interesting colors or shading or whatnot, and so we can't let those go. But the ones that we're going to do today are part of the Sweet series, and it is one of those that's first year blooming. It means it doesn't need to be vernalized or chilled. You just can start them now, and they will, you know, bloom in late spring to early summer. And the blooms are incredible. They're kind of a ball shape. I'm gonna put some pictures in somewhere here, probably here. And they're kind of a ball shape. There's a ton of colors, and I kind of pick by the season. The pink, the white and purple, the coral, best one, all look really good this time in the late spring. They look really fabulous. But you can still do the other ones that I call the fall ones, and they are scarlet, red, black cherry, there's a purple, and I think there's a new one, but I'm not sure what it is. I do those typically in the fall, but that black cherry, sometimes you just want to kind of get in there for that bold burgundy color. So totally your choice. I'm just doing you know, the spring ones that I typically do. They last 2 weeks in a vase. Changing the water, they just seem to go on and on. The center ones, in the ball shape, the very center ones will be the first ones that'll start to turn dark, kind of yucky. Sometimes you can pick those out and continue the bloom in a vase, but they just go and go and go. So they're really good. They germinate in about 7 to 14 days. I have to read notes. I should know this, but I still have to read notes. 7 to 14 days at 65 to 72 degrees. In the past, they have always listed them as needing light. Well, they do need light, but they also need covered. Not covered, just sprinkled with vermiculite over the top of the mini blocks that I will be seeding them in. And that is taking me time to figure out how much to do and where to do it. In the past, we followed the rules really carefully, and my germination wasn't great. But once I started to cover them with the fine vermiculite, but not covering the seed, just more like sprinkling the whole tray, putting it on a heat mat, at a low temperature, and covering them with a humidity dome, and then leaving them out here in the greenhouse, and let ambient temperature kind of help them germinate. They say 65 to 72, but I think sometimes they need it to chill down and then rewarm up. As long as there's kind of a constant bottom heat with the heat mat. And I found that once I figured that out, that our germination rate just went up. So it will be out here, if I can find a space in this mess, and it will be on a heat mat at about 68 degrees. I kind of keep it on the cooler side, and under lights, or the ambient light, and just let the warmth, the day and the night temperatures just kind of fluctuate back and forth as long as it's underneath. I should have germination in about 7 to 14 days, but I almost always get them at about 10, maybe 12. They start to poke up. And they need to be sown 8B. This is 8B here. 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. Now, for us, you know, the frosts, we kind of pick April 15th, somewhere April 20th. That's kind of our the day that we pick and then count back. But I know in 6-7 years of information that we keep on seeding and stuff, now's the time for me to sow them. But you know, you need to figure this out for your area. So it's 6 to 8 weeks, and like I said, I'm gonna do them in mini blocks, and they work perfect in mini blocks. And then when they're ready, I will bump them up into a 6-pack tray. They get all super floppy and stuff, so I can't seem to take them to the field unless I've bumped them up. So I will be doing that, and then I'll tell you all about that one. So I got the Dianthus is the first thing that I'm going to seed today. The second thing is Yarrow. And yarrow is kind of a really cool plant. It looks like a fern, kind of fern-like foliage at the bottom, and it's a perennial. And it's a hardy perennial. I don't think we've ever had it lose it to frost or anything. We, however, being honest here, have lost it to grass. Grass coming in, and it's really difficult to get the yarrow from the grass, you know, get it all cut out. And sometimes after a while you just have to say, I give up, and start a new batch, which is what I'm doing this week, is starting a new batch. And the yarrow, I have some that I've done before, and some new ones to try, which I think is really cool. So the first group that I've done for years is called a Colorado Mix, and it's a mix, just all kinds of colors. There's some peachy colors and some pinkies and lilac colors, and there's more. Just drawing them like yellows, not the bright yellow one, but soft pale yellows. And but there isn't really any kind of rosy reds or anything like that. So I got another one called Flower Burst, red shades, and I wanted to get some of the reds in there because it was just all too pastel, and I wanted some that were a little more pop of color. And so I'm hoping that that's a nice part of it. And then another one, the two I have that I'm trying that are from Redemption is one called Love Parade, and the other one is Pearl Superior. And these are new for me, and I'm going to put those in the mix because the Love Parade one says lilac and orchid color, which sounds really nice. And the pearl one is white, and I think that would be really pretty. So those are the two I have no information on, other than they're going to be tried. So anyway, it's a perennial. Like I said, you know, keep it weeded, especially with grass. It germinates in 10 to 14 days at 65 to 72. I don't know if it has anything special that it needs. I think it will go into the house because I have space in there, and I don't seem to have a lot of space left in here. It's sown 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost, and that puts it in the zone for me. And so keep in mind, count back from your last frost date. It's a great filler. It adds pops of color, you know, to your arrangement, and it dries really well. So if you're into dried flowers, yarrow is a fun one to add to your collection. The other things that I'm doing is stock, and I've done a video, I think it was last year, all specifically about growing stock, and so I don't want to just go over that again, other than I'll say what I'm sowing is the iron series. For us, we've tried them all, everything, and we have found that the iron series is the one that works the best for us. They're not super tall and flop over, but they're not short. They're just perfect, and iron is that the stalk is very sturdy. It comes in an array of colors from, you know, everything. What I'm trying to time mine with is the, although I don't, you know, make bouquets to sell or anything like that, just strictly grower, but I, in the past, have made lots of bouquets when I sold at the farmer's market. So I have an idea of what I like to have together, and I try and do that for my florists and designers, kind of to come up with things that, you know, if they've said something specific in terms of color, I do that. But if it's more like, you know, everything's beautiful, yay, then I kind of think, well, what would I be putting it with? And so I'm doing, in my stock, I'm doing cherry, iron cherry, because it's really pale pink. It's not bright pink, it's pale pink. I'm doing iron apricot, and I'm doing iron yellow. And the reason I chose those, because I'm going to be doing stock again in 2 to 3 weeks for another succession. I'll do 3 successions, I think. And I chose these ones because I think my timing is okay for what's coming in with ranunculus, I'm hoping. And the choices in my ranunculus is I have a picotee that the pale pink goes with just perfectly. And I also have a brighter pink, and it also goes well with that. And the champagne ranunculus and salmon look really awesome with the yellow or the apricot. So I have quite a few of those, and so that's why I'm going to do those 2 colors, while the next group will probably be things that are a little more bold, and they will probably be in the deep pinks and maybe a white, and oh, there's so many colors. Marine will probably be the next round. I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of trying to time this with what will come in at the same time. Maybe my snapdragons, or that are currently out there all butted up and ready to go. But come on, let's get some warm weather. It's cold today, and I'm thinking that those might be the colors that I'll be working with on the next round in about 2 to 3 weeks. So that's kind of what I've got pressing to do. Plus I have veggies to sow also, which include growing some winter style lettuces, and another round of spinach, Savoy spinach, and some bunching onions. And I will do these things over a span of several weeks. Just come back out and do another round, come back out and do another round. My lettuce that we're picking on is doing really well, but I wanted something to be right behind it. So I guess that's kind of everything, unless you have a question or whatnot, you know, which leave down below. And I guess I gotta get busy seeding because I'm making up for lost time. And so stay safe, stay healthy, me, stay healthy, and we'll catch you next time.